ready, you can slowly begin to journey your way to a downward facing dog. Curling your toes under, you'll slowly reach your hips high, and you can pedal out your feet a few times here, just gently walking your dog. Take this as an opportunity to stretch into the backs of your legs. As we get into deeper variations of our dancer pose, we're not only going to need strength in the standing leg, but we're also going to need a certain amount of openness in the hamstring and the whole back of the leg. So once you feel ready, you can just settle into your down dog. We'll take a couple deep breaths here in your still position. But really wake it up on the inside, pressing down through the hands, opening through the chest and shoulders, actively reaching your tailbone high and grounding your heels towards the earth. And we'll slowly walk your feet forward, coming into a standing forward fold. Make your way to the top of your mat, stepping your feet hip distance apart. As you fold over your legs, you can shift your weight side to side, bending one knee and then the other. Just exploring a little movement here to open through your legs. Breathing slow and deep, taking it one moment at a time. And we'll slowly begin to draw your movement back to center and fold your body down. And we'll begin to roll your spine all the way up, but really let it be an unfolding. So you start with the lumbar, starting with the lower part of your back, gently stacking the vertebrae one at a time. Let your head relax down. Let your chest and shoulders relax as you slowly unfurl the spine. Eventually your shoulders drop into place, and then your head slowly perches on top. So coming back to that nice centered breathing, feeling your feet on the earth. So we're going to practice a little tree pose here just to get a little strength and stamina in our standing balancing pose. So this is a great moment if you have a wall or a chair. You can practice using those tools to help you balance. We're going to start by shifting your weight into the right foot. Okay, so we're going to shift your weight into the right leg, spread your toes wide apart, and anchor that right leg into the earth. Lift up on the muscles of the right leg. So you're growing tall, lifting up out of your right hip. You can bring your hands onto your hip or onto whatever prop you're using. And we'll start by bringing your left foot to your calf. So this is a great place to balance. Ultimately, we'll eventually bring the foot all the way up to the top of the thigh. But most importantly, we want to practice the balance. So place your left leg wherever it needs to be so that you can activate the strength of your right leg, rooting down into that right foot. So feel your roots growing and lift up on the leg muscles, engaging all the way through the right thigh. Then lift up out of your hip, lift up out of your waist, and reach up through the crown of your head. Yes, then we'll slowly release, left foot coming down. You can bring your hands onto your knees and just gently roll your knees around a few times in one direction and then in the other direction. So again, just kind of massaging out those stabilizer muscles. Okay, then we'll practice the left side and see how it goes. So spread your left toes wide on your mat. Root down through the heel and the toes. Shift your weight onto that left leg and lift up on the left thigh, like drawing it up and in. Okay? Then you can bring your hands onto your hips or onto whatever prop is helping you. Okay, then we'll bring the right foot to the inside of your right thigh or inside of the calf. This is a great place to start. And then eventually we draw the foot all the way up to the inside of your thigh. Now, as you come into the balance here, continue that action in the standing leg, rooting down through the heel, rooting down through the toes and the ball of the foot. Lift up through the inner arch and draw that energy all the way up the standing left leg, all the way up out of the hip. Draw that energy all the way up to the crown of your head. Oh, and we'll slowly release. Making your way back to the earth, you can place your hands on your knees and just make a few gentle circles. How's that feeling? You're really waking up those ankles and shin muscles. All right, so after you do your little knee rolls, we'll come back to center, standing all the way up. Let's take a little vinyasa, circling your arms up towards the sky. Inhale, lift and grow tall. Exhale and fold your body down all the way over your legs. Nice deep forward fold. As you inhale your breath, lift and extend through your spine, lifting halfway up. Extend all the way out through the crown of your head, and exhale and gently fold yourself down. Plant your hands on your mat and step your feet back, coming into a nice strong plank pose. Inhale to lift your heart forward towards the top of your mat. You can keep your knees lifted or lower them down. As you exhale, we're going to slowly lower all the way down to the floor, but try and go as slow as you can, using as much control as you can, until you come all the way down onto your tummy. Turn the tops of your feet to the floor. Roll the tops of your shoulders to the sky. Inhale and curl your chest up away from the mat, peeling your heart open into a cobra pose. Then we'll exhale and make your way back into your downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths here, just revisiting your dog, finding full power activation in your pose. Then we'll inhale and lift your right leg high, reaching into that tripod. Let's exhale and step that foot forward to the top of your mat, coming into a lunge. Go ahead and lower your left knee down. Bring your right hand onto your knee. Lift your heart and extend your left fingertips to the sky. So again, we're lunging forward. Lift up through your fingertips, getting a nice opening through the front of the hip flexor. So press against that right knee, lifting your heart up higher. Lunge a little deeper as you reach up through the left fingertips, and then gently release both hands to the floor. Glide your hips back, extending through the right leg. Lift your heart, draw your tail back. Take a deep inhale, lifting halfway up. Then we'll exhale and fold all the way down over your right leg. Let your head and shoulders relax down towards the floor. We're taking 3 good breaths right here in your half split. So enjoy it. Bring it to life. Get the most out of it that you can. Then at the end of your third exhale, we're going to shift forward back into the right foot, coming back into that lunge. Now, place your right hand into the earth. So we're just finding some grounding in that right hand. Then bend your left knee behind you. We're going to open the left hand back with the palm open, thumb pointing towards the sky. Then you want to reach towards the inside of your left foot. Now, draw your hips back until you can make contact with your heel. So just a little adjustment. Instead of being way far forward in the lunge, you reach your hips back, make a connection. Now, hug that heel in towards the hip as you shift forward back into your lunge. So as best you can, you want to keep the heel connected to the hip. This is going to give you even more stretch across the top of the thigh and the hip flexor. Then start to roll your left shoulder open and see what happens. Yeah. Now, start to kick back through the left foot. This is going to feel very different. You're kicking the foot back, extending through the arm, rolling the left shoulder open. So this is what our dancer pose looks like when we're standing on one leg. It'll be great. Slowly release the left hand down, release the left foot. We're going to lift your left knee and draw your hips back, extending through the right leg in a little pyramid pose here. Let's inhale to lift and extend through your spine. Then open your right fingertips to the sky, just revolving your pose. So we just want to work this out so we can get a little stretch and length through the IT band and the outer hip, feeling a stretch down the whole length of the right leg. Let's take one more inhale, get a little deeper twist, then exhale and gently release your right hand down. Plant your palms into the mat. Press against the earth and draw that right leg up and back. Then stack your right hip open over the left and bend into your right knee. Press evenly through your hands and look back at that standing left leg and make sure that your heel and your ankle is aligned, your foot is strong and stable. Then we'll slowly square your hips to the floor and release the right foot down. Take a couple deep breaths in your down dog. Then shifting to the second side, let's inhale and reach the left heel high. Extending in your tripod, let's exhale and step that left foot forward into the lunge and gently lower your right knee down. Bring your left hand onto your knee, press your heart high, and extend the right arm up towards the sky. Lunge into that left leg, leaning your weight forward until you feel the stretch in your right hip flexor. Then press against that left knee, lifting your heart up even more. Glide the right fingertips back, increasing the stretch in the front of the hip. Then gently release the right hand down. You can bring the left hand down as well. We'll glide the hips back, extending through your left knee. Inhale to lift halfway up, extending through your spine. Draw your tailbone up and back. Then exhale and gently fold yourself down, getting into a good deep stretch into the left hamstring. Notice where any resistance arises and see if you can find a deeper breath. Saying yes to the stretch, allowing your body to open, inviting the muscles to respond. And we'll inhale and lift your heart up, extending through your spine. Go ahead and shift yourself forward, coming back into the lunge. And we're going to move into the quad stretch. So we'll place the left hand down, bend into your right knee, then open that right hand up, palm facing out. You're reaching for the inside of the right foot. Now, just a little side note, if you can't quite get a hold of your foot here, you can use a strap or a t-shirt or a belt or any other tool to help you practice this. Now, once you make contact with the foot, you're going to glide your hips back until you make contact. So we shift your weight back, bring the heel to the hip, maintain that contact, and start to lunge forward again. So now we're getting a deeper stretch across the top of the thigh. Breathe into that stretch and let it open. Then we'll make one tiny adjustment, taking it a little bit deeper. Start to roll the right shoulder back. So opening through your chest, you get even more stretch across the front of the hip and the front of the core, and more stretch across the chest. Now we're going to start to kick back with the right foot. So again, this is going to feel very different. Now that you kick the foot into the hand, the right arm extends. You roll the shoulder back and get a deeper stretch into the chest. And we'll slowly release. Bringing that right foot down, right hand down. Lift up the right knee. Draw your hips back. Fold forward in your pyramid pose. So again, we're just revisiting a little stretch into the hamstring. Then inhale and lift your heart halfway. And open your left fingertips to the sky, revolving your pyramid pose. Just couldn't be a complete practice without stretching the IT band, you know? It would feel left out. So just give it one more good moment, twisting your heart open, take it to the edge, then we'll gently release the left hand down. Now plant your hands into the earth, anchoring into your pose, and we'll draw the left hip up, or the left heel up and back, extending through that left leg, and we'll roll the left hip open, bending into the left knee. Get a nice twist here, opening through the hip flexors, twisting through the spine. Anchor down through your hands and down through the standing right leg. Then we'll slowly release the left foot back down to the earth and take a couple deep breaths in your down dog. You can also take a child's pose if this is a good moment that you want to rest and take a little break. Use this moment to take care of yourself, just coming back to center, coming back to your breath. And then we're all going to make your way forward into a standing forward fold. So however you need to get there, you're going to make your way to the top of your mat. Bringing your feet parallel, just folding forward over your legs. Let your head and shoulders relax down. And we'll slowly roll your spine back up to standing. So coming back to that slow, intentional roll. If your head is already looking up, come back. Let your head and shoulders relax. Feel the lower parts of your spine unfolding as you slowly, progressively roll yourself up to standing. You can close your eyes here and feel all of that energy coursing through your body.